Often my love stories ended in trouble and, you could say, even spoiled my emotional health. Now I am restoring my strength and waiting, hoping for another meeting with an interesting person. In spring, I got involved with a boy 15 years younger, but the matter did not go further than correspondence. Then happens some absolutely marvelous story of acquaintance with a successful artist, an acquaintance with whom I could not even count on. He is 8 years younger than me, charismatic, tall, popular in his circles, with an informal image of Balenciaga style. He noticed me on social networks, and I was also subscribed to his channel, and one day he announced a drawing with tickets to a big event where he gave a masterclass. I participated. At night of the same day, he texts me that I won and sends me a flyer. At that event, we said hello very briefly. I was charmed. I tagged him in social networks and photos, but never wrote again. He wrote back a week later. We had a dense correspondence, his initiative. 10 days later, he organized a job in my city. The acquaintance was business for him, not romantic. Probably, he invited me to a master class to establish contact, to organize work in the right city. For me, however, it was a romantic encounter. The interest is different. One is looking for a business contact. The other hopes for a love connection and is ready to be useful for that. We met at a hotel and slept together. I allowed it. Then he left. He had a girlfriend back, a young, beautiful dancer he liked from a trip abroad. And he blew me off. Or he didn't find me interesting. I got off, although I had already rolled my lips, but it was sad. He called, feared that I blocked him, apologized for my weakness. From time to time from him flew likes and comments, questions, how are you? I did not interfere, although I looked at his page every day. Then in the fall was a spontaneous acquaintance, brain explosion, quick sex, a hard story with my girlfriend, who was hooked on him. She wanted to get to know him. I slipped him my friend and stepped aside. And he got back at me by dragging her out for sex over the internet. Secret correspondence with her. My friend kept quiet about it until I realized it myself. But they did not have time to meet. We had a terrible scandal for several days. But then I found the strength to apologize and we made up. The issue with him closed, although she still says that she was wildly attracted to him. During the period when I was spinning history with this guy, I had a birthday party and we went to a bar with my friend. I was not in the mood, upset and tired, and at the bar I meet the bartender. We were in random company. I wanted to go home. I moved behind the bar. I looked up and there he was, asking, "What are you drinking?" We talked for a while, then I left. I forgot about him. The second time I came to this bar, on a date, also by chance, we were walking with a young man. I was freezing and remembered that there was a nice place here. I was engrossed in conversation, but then I crossed my eyes with the bartender. He winked. And I realized he was handsome, and I was interested. I sent my companion home. I went to the bar myself. We started flirting, went out for a smoke. The third time I came with a friend at night. He's very handsome. He has a cool image. Such a bad boy with an angelic appearance. Calm, phlegmatic, looking down on me. I quickly realized he was younger. I thought he was 8 years younger. It turned out to be 15. I'm 39, he's 24. The morning I left the bar, I texted a coworker I'd found and asked for his number. He texted me 5 minutes later. We corresponded. Not very active. He wrote once every 2 or 3 days, unobtrusively inviting me to come over. I either came or declined, or maybe like that artist. This bartender called me as a client, and I took it as a romantic interest in me. After all, there are such stories where the coach calls for a workout and the girl flirts and breaks like on a date. We ourselves create an illusory picture. But I used to come at night, sit at the bar, flirt with him, chat with the bartenders and guests, drink. Another such time, he was very happy to see me, and the morning after closing we left for his place. I kept wiggling that I was almost the same age as his mom, and did he immediately guess that I was coming to the bar for him? We spent the day together, had sex, smoked in the kitchen, drank beer. It turned out that he was a problem child from the age of 14, did not get a good education, graduated from college, and went to work. There was a relationship for years, broke up because of infidelity. He does not want to talk about it. Now he lives alone, rents an apartment. Everything is bad. Everywhere is a mess. He eats deliveries. He has no interest in everyday life. He says he works at night and comes back in the morning. It's always dark at home. The windows are curtained, nightlife. He says he hasn't seen the sun in a long time. Besides, he is all in author's tattoos, which he comes up with himself. There is an interesting set. And he is very handsome, wears long hair, accessories, good shoes, clothes, looks like a rock star. Now he doesn't want a relationship. He says he's fine alone. He's a pophagist, socializes with everyone, but he says he always keeps his distance. Only 3 friends he's been friends with for years. The rest are acquaintances. A lot of acquaintances. After the first meeting, I realized that I will only have sex with him, and he was still confused by my age and my activity at once. And I invested myself to the full. I wrote to him, trips to the bar at night, cab, sometimes brought alcohol and food. I assumed that everything would be easy with him. I wouldn't fall in love. But more often than not, I initiated it. There were a few more of these meetings. I went to see him before New Year's Eve at a bar with my girlfriends. He barely came near me. He texted me in the morning, came back, spent the day together, same scenario. We went away for the holidays. He texted me on January 1st, dryly congratulated me. Several times later, I wrote messages that I missed him and wanted to see him. He responded to them. He called me less and less. He even said, "Don't hug me," and turned away. I realized it was the end. In the morning, I asked him in his sleep if we'd see each other again. He nodded and got up sleepily to see me off. I tried not to be too clingy with him, but I couldn't. I thought about him all the time. One day I wrote that I wanted to see him, but he wrote that he had guests. But then he texted me and invited me. Left. I texted him at night. He said he was working. A day later, I went to his bar with a drunken friend to celebrate her firing. She behaved disgustingly. There was a concert, and I was surrounded by men. He was working. He didn't approach me. He ignored me. She left quietly, without saying goodbye. I kept quiet, waited, decided not to write to him. On the second day of my silence, my artist wrote to me, unexpectedly. He wrote that he sometimes remembers our sex and that it was very romantic. I did not know what to answer him. We exchanged warm compliments. I tried to distract myself, but my thoughts were always on this side of the bar. I wanted to write to him, to declare my love, to ask him how he was doing, to make an appointment, especially in the early morning and late at night, which is the trigger time when our main correspondence happened. I realized that time must pass, but I have a catastrophic feeling that I'm losing him, and I'm losing time and chances to remind myself. For days later, I wrote myself, said, I think about you all the time. And then I realized I was in love. A long time ago, before the new year. I feel like I should tell you that. That's it. Especially hard for me at night and in the morning. Sprinkles to tears, breaks again to write to him, holding on to the understanding that from my side has already said everything. And he is not in a hurry to comfort me with something. Of course, he's still so young. Yes, and I don't think he really needs me. It's just something I made up in my head. I've been thinking about how good we'd be together. I make it up, and then I suffer. And this scenario is my usual story. I choose in advance unavailable men, media, sought after, handsome, or young or married. Why am I like this? I flirt with them, they write, they indicate themselves. Sometimes there is some sex, but the relationship doesn't go any higher. The average is a couple months. I guess it's me, isn't it? Every time I've had a breakup, I've had a breakup. I can't say they disappear afterwards. Mostly they all reappear again for a while. But I am slowly recovering from these episodes. I consider them my defeats. The attention of such men, my dope, it gives me strength. Life plays with new colors. I am good. When I'm alone, I go into dark periods. I get depressed. I feel worse. I literally get sick. I go to doctors. My sleep gets worse. I get conditions that are like panic attacks. Doctors cannot differentiate my condition. Objectively, I am healthy. And as soon as a romantic character appears, I immediately come to life. All my complaints disappear. I have strength, which I immediately pour into this relationship, which is always doomed. I lack objective supports. I am not good with the material aspect. I provide for myself literally for today. I am relatively healthy, not bad-looking. I have a reputation as a beautiful and independent woman. I have friends, not bad relations with my family. But I don't have a tomorrow. And I think it's only in a relationship that I become a full-blooded person that gives me a sense of tomorrow. Well, and the ticking clock which I ignore, but which drives me crazy. I can't grow in my profession, objectively increasing my income level in my field and with my competencies is impossible. Although at my level I am considered a good specialist. Since I live alone in a megalopolis, there is no one to help me. I am afraid to give birth for myself from another admirer. I will not be able to bear a child. Now I'm worried about my health and I realize that I can't go on like this. I try to adjust myself that I need a man older, worse in image, most likely with children, that these are my options. I try to take off my crown of treasure and high and see these men. But I don't notice these men. It's like they don't exist for me. After each bummer, I honestly try to live a normal life. Work, home, family, light sports. But in the background, I am almost always in a sluggish depression. Then, when I recover a bit, start to look good, there is bound to be a flash, some adventure where another fatal character for me appears. And the circle starts again. Sometimes I think that these are the moments I live for and that I don't need marriage. But I do need it, and in my moments of depressive episodes and loneliness, I want a normal, conventional relationship. And the question in general is, how do I break the cycle and stop falling into knowingly doomed stories or learn to develop what starts at least to the level of a stable romance? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please. There are many more interesting stories to come. Thank you.